Hello everyone, welcome once again to my YouTube channel School of Automation. Today in this video we will discuss about most trending and frequently asked question by most of the interviewer, that is where you have used and applied OOP concept of Java in your automation framework. Along with this we will discuss where Selenium team has implemented this OOP concept in their source code. Here in this video we will cover all these OOPS concept, where the first one is polymorphism. Under this polymorphism we will cover overloading and overriding concept, and then next we will cover inheritance, and under inheritance we will try to cover easy relationship and hazy relationship, and then we'll try to cover encapsulation, tightly encapsulation, abstraction, data hiding and interface. So all these OOPS concept we will try to understand, where we can use in our automation framework, also where Selenium team has implemented all these concepts. Here I have created a basic framework so that it's easy to understand all of us. So here in this src main Java, I have created one base page and I have created one abstract page. So let's see first in this abstract page what we have. So in this abstract page, first of all we have constructor that will I will assign the value of driver, and then we are initializing the web driver weight. And then here we have few abstract method, those I will say must have for every page. So that reason I am just declaring all these 5 or 6 method as a abstract, and I will say implementation class will define the body of all these. And then in this base class you can see this abstract page extend by this base class, and now all these 5 or 6 abstract method you will see here with the body. So if I talk about this visibility of element, then you will see, so we have here this method with body, and here I have created few utility classes, and here I have created 2 page classes that I will say extend this base page. You can see here. So first hierarchy is abstract, then abstract inherited by base page here, and then base page extend by all these pages, right? And here in this test I have one base test. Let me open it. So this base page will responsible for the setup part, where we are just initializing the browser and maximize the browser window and then navigate to the URL. So this is, I will say, main functionality of this base test, and after method it will close the driver. You can see here, and these all are the test classes I will say, and these test classes extend this base test. So here in this framework, base test extend by every test class, and this base page extend by all these. Polymorphism means multiple tasks, and multiple tasks we can achieve using method overloading and overriding. So now let's see where we can implement this overload feature in our framework, and then we'll discuss about where Selenium team has implemented overload feature in their source code framework. So if I talk about, so this is a base page, right? And here I have created one method visibility of element. You can see here. So this is first example of overloading. Here visibility of element and argument type is web element, but here same method overloaded, but here you can see argument is now different, that is by type, right? This is first example where I have implemented overload concept, and this is the second example. You can see wait for the element to be clicked. So again in first method I am using by argument, and here you can see the same method, but now argument type is web element. So this I will say second example, and this is the third example. Here you can see switch to frame argument type is by, and here switch to frame argument type is web element. And this is third example where switch to element using index and where argument type is int. And this is the fourth. Here the same functionality, switch to frame only, but argument type is string. So here we are just switching the frame with the help of name. So I am taking string, and here you can see I am taking index, and here you can see with the help of web element I am trying to switch, and here you can see with the help of by, first I am trying to locate web element, and then this web element I am passing to here in order to switch the frame. So this is, I will say, example of overload in my framework. And along with this, here in this login page also you can see couple of example where I have implemented overload functionality. So if I talk about, so this is method to log in the application, and here I am passing username and password that I can enter here in these two fields, and then I click login button. Similarly here I am passing a string type of vararg. It means here we can pass n number of argument. So first I'm passing like username, then I'm passing password, then here in third I'm passing, you can say, any value like role of the user. The functionality is same, we are just logging the application, but here you can see number of argument is changing and type of argument is also changing. And see here, this is the third, I will say, overload example for similar login method. Here I am just passing username only, and password I am hard coded here. And this is the fourth example of overloading with this login method only. Here I am just passing username, and means here I am not taking any kind of argument. I am just passing username and password directly in the method body only. So in this way we can achieve overload feature in our framework. And now let's see where Selenium team has implemented the same thing in their source code. For that, let me open this base page, and here you will see, yeah, so this is the base page, and in this expected condition class there are a couple of methods, right? So here you can see visibility of, sorry, element to be clickable. Here this is a by type argument, but here in this below method the method name is same only, but argument type is web element. So this is one example where Selenium team has implemented overloading concept. And here again this is the another example, attribute to be. This is by type, first argument, second argument is string type, and then third argument again string type. And this is the second, I will say, same method, but here you can see instead of by they are using web element, and then rest of two argument are same, string attribute, string value. Now let's see the next example of overloading in Selenium framework only. So this is the base test, and here you can see this is the not this one, I think, yeah, here in this driver.navigate.to. so usually we are passing here string type, right, in order to open a website in the browser. But here you can see in two method only we can pass URL object as well. See here we are just passing URL object, and in this URL object we are passing this string. So you can see this is another example of overloading, two method only, but here we are passing string, but here we are passing URL object. And if I talk about TestNG framework, then here you can see TestNG team also implemented overloading concept here. This is assert equal method for integer, this is for bytes, this is for character, this is for long, this is for float, like this. So now let's discuss next one, that is override. And basically override means if parent class method implementation not able to fulfill requirement of child class, in that case child class method will rewrite the functionality of parent class, it means we are just overriding the functionality. So now let's see where I have implemented the override functionality in my framework. Then we will discuss about where Selenium source code has implemented overriding concept. So here you can see this is a base test, and in base test I have created one method setup test. This is basically responsible for initializing the driver and then maximizing the driver and then open the URL. And this base test extend by home test and this login test. So in this case, base test is our parent class and home test and login test is our child class. So here this base test method, this setup test, not able to fulfill requirement of this login test. So login test here as a child can override the functionality of this method. So now let's see how I'm just overriding the functionality. So here I am just overriding this method because of in this method we are just maximizing the browser, but here in this login I have let's suppose I have one use case where I need to open a browser in specific dimension. So in that case I am just overriding this setup method again and just rewrite the functionality where I am just opening the browser with some specific size. So this is the override example I have implemented in my framework. So based upon your functionality or your requirement, you also can implement the same. And now let's see where Selenium team has implemented overriding concept. Where Selenium team has implemented this override feature in their source code. So let me open this get method implementation, and here you can say this is the get method declaration inside WebDriver interface. And similarly, let me open declaration for declaration for this two method. Here you can see both of the two method inside this navigation interface, but this navigation interface I will say child interface for WebDriver only, right? So this WebDriver interface implemented by these classes Chrome, Firefox, IE, Opera, Safari, like this. So let me open this Chrome driver. Here you can see this Chrome driver class extend Chromium driver class, and then this Chromium driver class extend remote WebDriver, and then remote WebDriver again I will say implements this WebDriver feature. Here you can see this get method, and here you can see two method. So now here you will find inside this remote WebDriver both the method get and to will define here with body. Here you can see, and similarly to method is also defined here. Let me search it out. Yeah, here you can see this is the to method and this is overloaded to method. So both you can see here, but this get method will only responsible to open the URL only. But here in this to method we have couple of additional method like I will say navigation method, right? So here the task is same only to open the URL, but here we are just overriding the functionality to achieve navigable history also, like backward, forward, refresh. So I will say this is an example of overriding in Selenium source code. And now let's discuss about this inheritance, where first one is a relationship and second one is has a relationship. So in my framework I have implemented is a relationship here inside I will say these two pages classes. So these two page classes, home page and this login page, I will say extend this base page. Both are extending base page only. So it means all the functionality I will say including methods as well as data member, or I will say variables, directly can be accessible by these two classes, home and login page. It means here we are just inheriting the functionality of this base page into these two, home page and login page. So this is, I will say, is a relationship. Is a relationship means we are just reusing 100% code of this base class to home page and this login. And now let's see where Selenium source code are using this is a relationship inheritance. For that, let me open this WebDriver wait class. So this is a WebDriver wait class, and it's again extending Fluent wait, because here we can say this WebDriver wait is a child class of this Fluent wait. It means the all the method those are available in this Fluent wait we are reusing in this WebDriver wait class. So this is an example of is a relationship in Selenium source code. And now let's discuss about has a relationship, and let's see first where I have implemented this has a relationship in my code. So has a relationship means whenever we required some partial functionality in some another class, in that case we can say that relationship is has a relationship. So let's suppose in this home page I required some partial functionality of these two utility classes. Let's suppose this under this utility page I have two methods, right? So if I want to use these utility method in any of the class, test class I will say, then here you can see first of all I have to create object of that utility page. Then with the help of this object I can call any method, right? So here you can see get random string value as well as current date and time. So it means somewhere we require partial functionality only, right? In that case these kind of implementation known as has a relationship. So now let's see where Selenium team has implemented this has a relationship in their source code. For that let me open this WebDriver interface, not this WebDriver interface, I think WebDriver wait, and let me scroll it down. Yeah, here you can see. So here we are just creating object of this timeout exception class, and then with the help of this ex object we are just calling a specific method. Not all the method, I will say not all the method of this timeout exception required in this class. That's why we are not directly extending this. Rather than extending this, here we are creating object, and then with the help of this object we are just calling only specific method, like here add info only, right? So that's all about this inheritance oops feature in YourAutomationFramework and in Selenium source code. So now let's discuss the next one, that is encapsulation. And basically encapsulation is a process of binding data members and method in a single unit. So definition wise this is encapsulation, and now let's see where I have implemented in my framework and where Selenium team have implemented in their source code. So in first my framework, here you can see these two are POM classes. First one is login, second one is home. So let me open this one login. So here you can see all the data members means variables, and here you can see all the methods. I am just kept in single unit, that is login page. So within this boundary we have all the methods and all the variables, right? So here we can say this login page is an example of an encapsulation, and similarly for home page also, here you can see these two are variables, and below you can see couple of methods. Again we are capturing in single unit, that is home page. And now let's see where Selenium team has implemented this encapsulation feature in their source code. For that, let me open this base test, and let me open this Firefox class here. So here you can see in this Firefox driver class, so this is again Selenium source code related class. Here you can see all the methods, all the variables and data members, and here you can see all the methods. They are kept in a single unit, that is Firefox driver. Here you can see this is the boundary of this class, and inside this only we have all the variables and method. So I will say this is example of encapsulation here. And now let's discuss the next one, that is tightly encapsulation. So encapsulation means the binding of data member and methods in a single unit, but tightly encapsulation means all the data members should be private. Then only we can say this class is tightly encapsulation. If out of these variable, if any of the variables having public type, in that case we are saying that particular class is not tightly encapsulation. So tightly encapsulation class must have fulfilled this condition, that is all variables should be private. So here in this my framework, so this is not an example of tightly encapsulation, because first three variable are private, but this string page title variable is not private. So this is an example of encapsulation only, but this home page having two variables and both are private only. So it means we can say this home page is an example of tightly encapsulation. So here you can see I have implemented tightly encapsulation feature also in my framework. And now let's see where Selenium team has implemented. So again, earlier also we discussed this Firefox driver. So this class is by default tightly encapsulation. If any of the variable having public type, then we can say this class is encapsulation. But here you can see all variables having private type. So this is an example of tightly encapsulation. So guys, if this video is helping you, please subscribe my channel. And now let's discuss the next one, that is abstraction. And abstraction is a process where we are hiding internal implementation and just highlighting the set of services that we are offering. And in Java, we can achieve abstraction in two ways. First one is interface and second one is abstract class. So now let's see how I have implemented in my framework. Then we'll discuss how Selenium guys implemented abstraction in their framework. So here you can see this is an abstract class, and here we are just defining the method. There is no body here. So we can say this is one level of abstraction. So we can say this is an example of abstraction. And similarly here you can see these all are POM classes. Here you can see the method having functionality also, right? Means inner part of method as well. And same method we are using here in these test classes. But here you can see we are just calling the method like login, page title, right? And similarly here in home page you can see here we are just calling the method only, right? Like login the application, then get home page title. There is no internal functionality we are showing here. So this is another level of abstraction where we are just hiding the internal processing or internal I will say functionality of these all methods, right? So let me open this login to application. So here we are just writing the actual source code, but at this level, test level, we are just calling the method. We are not showing the internal implementation. User don't know about how we are logged in the application, and user don't know about how get home page title is fetching. So this is again example of abstraction here in this my framework. And now let's see how Selenium team has implemented the same thing in their framework. And for that, let me open this base test. And from here, as we all know, this WebDriver is an interface. So here all these methods are declare only, right? There is no body. Only the implementation class will responsible for method body, right? So this WebDriver is an interface, and this interface implemented by all these classes. So as we already discussed, all these classes having those method which are we just declared in WebDriver interface. Here you can see, let me find it out, couple of method here. So this is where we have, yeah, here we have WebDriver. So let me call this one. So I'm just trying to search. Yeah, here you can see this method is implemented here, right? And now we can say here in this WebDriver interface, we are just abstracting the information, right? So only we can call all these method directly in our test only from this Chrome driver class. So here you can see in this my base test, with the help of this driver, I'm just calling all these methods like manage, get, navigation. So here we don't know how to Selenium guys implement all these methods. We are just using them. It means at this level also we are abstracting the information. So that's all about this abstraction oops concept. And now let's discuss the next one, that is data hiding. Actually data hiding is I will say again oops concept, where we are just can say outside person cannot access our internal data directly, or our internal data should not go outside directly. After validation or authentication only outside person can access our data, right? So this oops concept also I have implemented in my framework, and then we'll discuss how the same oops concept, that is data hiding, implemented by Selenium team in their source code. So here you can see this is my automation framework, and let me open this home page. So here you can see both these variables having private type. It means outside this home page we are not able to access these two methods, right? Within this class only we can use these two. It means here we are just hiding the data from external user outside this home page. So if you will try to call this drop down by in this test level, so then we will not able to call, you can see here, right? Because that access modifier is private type. So this is an example of data hiding here. And now let's see how Selenium team has implemented the same thing. For that let me open few classes here so that we can see how Selenium team has implemented data hiding. So let me open first one, that is Firefox driver. So here you can see all the data members, I will say variables, are private type. It means outside this Firefox driver we are not able to call these. It means they are just hiding the data within Firefox driver class. And if I talk about next example, then you will see here, just give me a minute. So here I'm just opening this select class. So here also you can see both the elements having private type. It means we are again hiding the data within this select class. And let me give me some more example also here. So again this is a base class, and let me open this expected condition here. So here you can see all the methods having private variables only, right? It means again we are just hiding the data outside this expected condition class. We are not able to call all these variables which having private type, right? Because the next one and final one, that is interface. So whenever any interview asking about interface implementation in your framework, then every time most of the people just explaining this scenario, web driver equal to new Chrome driver. This is not an example of implementation of interface in your automation framework, because this is the interface which implemented by Selenium team, not by you. So let's discuss first where Selenium team has implemented the same thing. Here you can see this is the interface inside Selenium source code, and here we have few methods, right? All these methods I will say defined by all these classes, because Selenium created one, I will say, contract or template inside this web driver. It means all these methods can be used by other classes like Chrome, Firefox, Opera, IE as per their need. That's why Selenium just declare all these methods inside this web driver. And second thing, if we are just declaring this value web driver only, it means after this system don't know which object will assign in this driver, either for Firefox class or for Chrome class. That's why we are just declaring this as a interface. And now let's see where I can implement interface functionality in my framework. But unfortunately here I have just implemented abstract page. So instead of this abstract page, I can implement interface also, because in this abstract class also I am just declaring the method, and interface also having declaration of the methods only. But here I am just not implemented the interface, but you can simply replace this abstract class with interface also.